What's going on, Vanguard fam, and welcome to Anteiku Nation, where we game and we know things. And today I want to approach the discussion topic of Vanguard Dear Days. No, I'm not talking about Vanguard Zero, that trash heap of a pile excuse of a game that we all endorse and actually played for quite a long time. Moving past that, though, we're going to be talking about Vanguard Dear Days and the controversy surrounding the price tag that comes with this new Nintendo Switch / Steam game that's coming out this week. So in the last few weeks, there's been a big uproar. I'm a little late to that party, but there's a little uproar, actually a major uproar in the community in regards to the price tag surrounding Dear Days, which is $70 US. Okay, I'm in the United States, so that's $70 for me. Yeah, that's a little bit more than a typical Switch game. Typical Switch game is going to be anywhere $50, $60, depending on what title you get. Could be a little less. Again, it depends on the title. But people are saying, oh, this is not new player friendly. This is not good for getting new players to come in. You know, this is going to turn people away. But my biggest gripe right now that I'm banging my head against is that all the negativity surrounding this game that's coming from the core community as a whole, all the people who love Vanguard, who play the TCG, who spend thousands of dollars as a collective on Cardfight Vanguard over the years, are complaining about something that we wanted for many years. I have been playing Vanguard for 10 years now, since 2012. It's 2022, about to be 2023, so it's going to be 11 years. And from day one, we all wanted a console game across the world that everybody could play, and now we got it. And now that we got it, people are, you know, up in arms because, oh, it's not as cheap as what we thought it was. It's not as generous as we thought it was. Because everybody about 4 months ago were like, oh, well, maybe it's going to be $40 and maybe it's going to, you know, have some free DLC and maybe this. There was a whole lot of what I'm going to call hopium going on surrounding this game because everybody's like, well, if it's that cheap, we can get people to come in. So the realization is that no, it's $70, and that there is a DLC pass that is actually $70 that coincides with Dear Days. You don't have to buy the DLC. My biggest thing is, okay, if you look at the base game of Cardfight Vanguard Dear Days, you pay $70. You get the story mode, unique story, all new characters. You get access to friend fights, you get access to ranked fights, you get, you know, the story mode again, but you're also getting access to content of the card game itself, in the sense that you're getting all 5 of the original trial decks that came out in Overdress, and you're getting all 5 booster sets, all 5, not 1, not 2, but all 5 of them, and you're getting all of this for $70. Now, if the new player, we're not going to talk about the player base themselves right now who actually do play Vanguard, but if a new player started playing, they enjoyed it, they really were digging what they were playing, they were like, oh man, I want to keep playing this game, I want to get more cards, and they see that down the road there's more DLC because they already gave us a roadmap. If you look on the Nintendo eShop, we're going to be getting content in, like, I think February, sometimes some in March, maybe some in April or May, and then June was the last one because June was the release of the Chrono Jet deck. And if you look, okay, the pass covers all of that. So for $70, you've already solidified your hold on 6 months worth of content, future content that's going to be coming out, so that you can further play the game, so that you can advance your card set, so you can advance the decks, you can play other decks, just like in the actual physical TCG. Okay, there's this other complaint I'm hearing and I'm seeing. People are like, well, why would anybody want to play these outdated decks? You know, this is old format and stuff. Okay, but if you're a new player, coming into Vanguard, Booster Set 1 is going to be new for them. This is not old content. This is brand new. They've never seen Vanguard before. They've never seen Booster Sets 1, 2, 3, 5, you know, all the different, I'm not even going to go over names because I don't remember the name of the sets. But they've never seen that before. For them, that is new content. This is a new experience. They're discovering all the nations of Vanguard at one time. So, like, it's not this big ordeal where it's like, oh my god, they got to spend $70, because you're telling me, or we're telling people, I'm going to say that we, because I'm part of the community. I do love Vanguard. I've always loved Vanguard. That we're telling people that our game, the game that we love, that we've been playing for 10 plus years going now, is not worth $70. That's what you're saying. That Vanguard itself to us is not worth $70. When in contrast, and let's go ahead and move into this because this is where my argument comes in. Okay, let's say you're a new player getting into the TCG. Okay, roundabout, let's just say, for instance sake, so I'm going to just throw this argument out there. Okay, let's just say that here booster set 1 was just now coming out. Okay, I'm a new player, I've never played it. I've got to spend $7-10 on a brand new deck. Okay, a brand new trial deck. Okay, but then I also need to buy singles, I need to buy a booster box. I'm already going to be swinging above $70 to get into Cardfight Vanguard, a game I never played before, only to have the experience to actually play the said game. Okay, this is if I didn't have access to Dear Days, if I didn't have access to anything else, and I'm trying to discover Cardfight Vanguard because this is the reality of it. Okay, let's look at some prices. Okay, so for a double rare version of the over trigger, which all decks have an over trigger and they're allowed 1 copy, $8. Okay, that's $8. The one for Dragon Empire is $9. So already a 1/7 of the cost of Dear Days for 1 card. 1 card. Okay, so you look at people who buy SPs. Let's talk about that. You've got people who do play the game and they want to bling out their decks. Okay, they want the shiniest, rarest cards in the game. SP version of this, Twin Buckler Dragon, I'm just using this for instance. SP is $35.99. That's over half the asking price of Dear Days, where you're getting all of the cards from all of the sets 1 through 5. You're getting all the trial decks. That's 5 trial decks for $70, whereas this for 1 card SP is $70. And there are people who buy SPs. Okay, I can't say that everybody in the community does, but there's a lot of people who do love their SPs and they love to bling out their decks. They love going to a tournament and saying, like, look at my fat bomb ass deck where I got all this shiny foil, and like they just got all this bragging rights. Okay, so you look at this. Okay, the DSR for Nirvana, $35. $35. Again, that's half the price of Dear Days for 1 card. And if you're a true Nirvana fan, or if you're a true Dragon Empire fan, there are dedicated players out there who will spend that. Well, even though you can get this in a lesser rarity, but you're still going to be spending a chunk of change a little bit on that card, and you're going to need 4 copies of it. So you're either going to have to buy the single, or you're going to have to buy the trial deck to get the said card. SPs are not cheap, but if you look on the Nintendo eShop for Dear Days, they are giving you a bundle of all the SPs for $10. So like all the SPs for set 1 for $10. You spend $10, boom, you got it. Now here's the other thing: you don't have to spend the $10. You don't have to spend the $10 to buy the SPs. That's only a cosmetic option. That's called a microtransaction. That's called supporting the devs, because they're giving you something that you might like to show off in order to, build their business and make money. Everybody does it. I play World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, I spent $90 on the new expansion. I pay $15 a month every month all year long to play World of Warcraft. That is $180 that I give Blizzard to play a game that I love. That is also $90 I spent. So that's 180, 90, that's like $270, $270 in 1 year. Okay, every other year's a new expansion. So every other year, Blizzard's making $270 right off the bat off of me, the player, because I'm playing the game that I love. But I hear the argument too, well, I can't resell Dear Days. If I spend $70 and then I spend another $70 on the dual pass, then I'm never going to get that back because I can't sell that. But if I go into an event, a sanctioned event, and I'm selling my, I got my deck, I can sell my cards. You don't get into Vanguard because you want to sell cards. You don't get into Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or any card game because you're going in with it, I'm going to make money off of this game. You play Vanguard, you play Yu-Gi-Oh because you love the game. There's something about the game that sparks your interest. There's something about the game that gives you a passion and a joy, and you love the game. Nobody builds a deck and says, I'm just going to build this extremely expensive ass deck, and I'm just, I'm going to do all the things. Because here's my other argument. Okay, let's say you go and you build this $300 deck. You spend $200, however much you spent on one deck, and You go to your sanctioned tournament and like you get a best of one match. Okay, you just spent hundreds of dollars on one deck that you get a best of one matchup. What happens if you lose? You just went to that tournament, you lost round one because RNGesus didn't shine upon you, because you didn't pray to gods and whoever that, you know, let you be on my side so that I can win this little Vanguard match. I don't understand this. We're telling people that our game that we love, that all of us have spent thousands of dollars on Cardfight Vanguard over the years. Whether you're new, whether you're old, it doesn't matter. People have spent thousands upon thousands. As a matter of fact, we played Vanguard Zero. When Vanguard Zero came out, it started from day one, 2012 format of Cardfight Vanguard. And it played differently. It didn't play like the true legit version of Cardfight Vanguard. It played way differently, and we all knew that, but we supported it because we wanted a game that we could enjoy with everybody across the world. And Zero at the time was the best outlet that we had aside from tabletop and Cardfight area, and those two platforms are trash. I'll stand behind that. You can fight me on that, but Cardfight area and tabletop are trash simulators. They are frustrating to use. They are lackluster. There's nothing to it, but they are also, you know, fan base made simulators. So in that sense, that's cool as fan base. But me personally, I put them down. I tried both of them. I would have still preferred to play Vanguard Zero than I would have the simulators. And on the topic of Vanguard Zero, that was a money sink. That was a true money sink that nobody, including myself, should have really invested in the way that Bushiroad Game Studio was trying to get us to, because every month, every 4 weeks, new cards were coming out and you had to keep buying it, you had to keep purchasing it, and the price tag for those bundles was ridiculous. But then on the same token, you're like, well, why are you supporting Dear Days? Because for a solid base value of $70, I get 5 full boosters. For $70 in Zero, I couldn't get not even one deck for $70 in Vanguard Zero. You can't. You can spend $70, you may not even get what you want. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tell on myself. So when Gold Paladin came out 2 years ago in Vanguard Zero, I'm a huge Ezel fan. One of my favorite all-time beloved cards in the card game, hands down. Always has a special place in my heart. I wanted Ezel. I saved up 200 free packs, and then I spent like $100 on actual packs. So that put me at probably about 300 packs. I did not pull but one Ezel. I still could not complete my Gold Paladin deck that I was so hyped up, so stoked to play in Vanguard Zero. So what did I do? I got my wallet out. I spent more money. I got another like $60-$70 worth of cards, however much I spent, because I don't remember how much the bundle was, but it's expensive. And I didn't pull Ezel. You know what I ended up pulling? I ended up pulling Great Nature cards. I pulled everything but Ezel, so I spent even more money. Didn't get the card, couldn't complete the deck that I wanted. But now, on the other token, I'm able to spend $70 on Dear Days right here. I'm able to spend $70 on this game, and I get all 5 booster sets. I can comb through. I get a story. I get to play with my friends. I get to play. I don't have a locals. I am a Vanguard lover who can't play at my locals because I don't have a locals. My locals is 3.5 hours up the road back home in Charlotte, North Carolina. All of my friends that I play Vanguard with are back home. When I moved away from there, I lost all the ability to play Vanguard. Try to get it to go down here, can't get Vanguard to play down here. Reason being because Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, at the time, Force of Will was actually really popular. Now there's the Dragon Ball Super card game, but Vanguard just would not take off. I had no access to play the card game that I fell in love with. I made a lot of friends with, and I wholeheartedly enjoy. I enjoy this game more than Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm a veteran Yu-Gi-Oh player. I played Yu-Gi-Oh from 2002 at the age of 18 until 2012 at the age of 28, and I left Yu-Gi-Oh for Vanguard because Vanguard is just an amazing, very fun, very enjoying game, and it's very engaging, more so than Yu-Gi-Oh. I enjoyed it more than Magic, and Magic's like the king of the crop. Like, it is up there. You can't dethrone Magic. But even with that being said, I'd rather play Cardfight Vanguard. So my point is, $70 to be able to play anywhere, anytime, at my own leisure against anybody, and I get to experience true Vanguard with guarding, with, you know, being able to keep my drive checks and stuff, unlike Vanguard Zero, is a blessing. And I think that the negativity that is coming from the community right now, what we're doing is we're killing our own game. Because there's a lot of you that are like, you're against the price tag, but you're still going to buy it. But you're also setting out all this poison into the air about the game that you love. Nobody's going to want to buy, because all they're going to hear from all you big people, all you big streamers, all of you people, is that we're not going to pay $70. That's too much. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that, because that's just too much for a game that we love. We, me, myself included, have spent a lot of money on this game. When Aquaforce came out in 2013, when Aquaforce came out, spent $800 on a case for Aquaforce. That's already multiple times more than what people spend on Dear Days, and they get everything. People buy into cases in order to get one deck. I just don't understand it, because you can't resell a digital card game. That means that it's not worth $70 when you've spent more. You have spent God knows how much money on Cardfight Vanguard. Yeah, Bushiroad has sucked when it comes to the marketing of Vanguard, and they have, destroyed us, the player base, for it, because they could have gone what Konami did with Yu-Gi-Oh! There were so many other ways they could have gone about actually publishing Cardfight Vanguard and marketing it to the entire masses, because the player base is there. The desire for Vanguard is there. It is not left. It is still strong and it's still alive, and there's plenty of people who were playing Zero because they had no other options but to play Zero, because there was nothing else better at the time. Now there is. And at the time, people sunk money in, they sunk their time into Vanguard Zero. And nobody, we complained about it, but we still did it. And now we're just shooting poison again into our own community at the game that we love, because we think that $70 is too much. But then you're like, oh, well, Ant, it's not just $70, it's another $70. So really it's $140. Oh, time out. Let me just stop you right there. No, it is not. Okay. You can buy the base game of Dear Days at $70. Okay. You could buy the pass if you want to at your own leisure, when you want to. You don't have to day one buy the $70 pass to get that 6 months of extra content. It also shows on the Nintendo eShop that we can also buy that content individually as it comes out. So maybe you don't have the extra $70 laying around right now. You're like, hey, I'm a little tight. I got bills, I got food, I gotta get to work, I got other things, I got a family, I got friends. I don't know what your situation is. But maybe you don't have the $70 now, but then maybe in February, when that rolls around, you got whatever it costs to buy the new booster box to put it into your game. Okay, it's not that much. It's not going to be $70 to buy that one booster box, which, mind you, if you contrast and compare that to the actual TCG, one booster box in real life is what, 40, 50 bucks now? And you're not guaranteed but like a certain amount of rare cards in that set. So you're not going to build a whole deck off of one booster box? I don't understand. I'm banging my head against this. It is not the most ideal price, but it's also not the most unreasonable thing I've ever seen in my life, when people have paid more for the TCG, they have paid more for other games that they love. And I'm speaking about myself, because I'm one of millions of players who play World of Warcraft or who's played Final Fantasy 14 and spend a sub every month to keep playing a game that I love, because I have to support the business that is creating the content in the game that I love. That's the nature of the beast. That is the world that we live in now. Nothing is cheap. Nothing is cheap at all. But you can at least encourage people to be like, you know what? I know that this game is $70. But I'm going to tell you what, this game has brought a lot of joy to me. This game has been a very big passion of mine. I've made friends. I have gone places. I have done things. And I think that if you took the time and you sat down, you would really enjoy Cardfight Vanguard Dear Days, because this is true to form Vanguard. I think if we just took a step back and we could appreciate what we're actually being given, instead of bitching and complaining and being butthurt over a mere price tag of a one-time purchase of $70, when you yourselves, me, myself, have spent more to play the game, it can grow, it can flourish, it can, you nurture it. But this toxicity of let's just jump on the bandwagon and flood Twitter and flood YouTube and flood, Facebook, wherever, Discord servers of, oh my God, Dear Days is $70, and oh my God, I got to spend another $70 for this. It's a bad mentality. I know you do not appreciate the price tag. And if you don't appreciate the price tag, then send in a notice to Bushiroad or whoever corporation you need to and address it that way. But do not flood your community with the doom and gloom on a game that is just now coming out that we, the people, we, the community, wanted. We wanted this for years. We are becoming the rent is too damn high party right now. You all remember that guy, don't you?
I represent the rent is too damn high party.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So instead of saying that the rent is too damn high, how about we just try to look at the glass from a different point of freaking view and appreciate what we all wanted? Because when Zero came out, we all had these grandiose ideas of how we wanted Zero to be. We were like, man, if only they did this, if only they implemented this, then we would buy that. Because if I played Vanguard Zero, and you would have told me at the time and place when I was supporting it that for $10 I could get a copy of every SP, so every time I played my deck I would have the SP rarity form of my legendary card or my grade 3 card, the highest rarity. I play Hearthstone, I play Shadowverse. You cannot for $10 in any of those digital card games pay $10 and get the highest rarity of those said cards, especially not the whole set of like set 1, for instance. I can't go into Hearthstone, whatever the new set is in Hearthstone right now. They're about to go into like, Lich King stuff. So like I can't spend $10 and get the highest diamond rarity of every single card in Hearthstone in that set for $10. But in Dear Days I can, but I don't have to. But you can, because it's a microtransaction. It's a cosmetic choice for you, the player, to brag about, to show off, to be like, hey, look, I got the highest rarity. I spent $10. I got all this. You feel kind of good about yourself because you get to enjoy the image, because that's the only reason why we buy SPs anyway in the real life game, is because you want the image. You want to be able to see the full art. Yeah, it's got a nice little different foil pattern to it, but you're still buying it for the picture. But you yourselves, we don't mind spending $35. $70 on an SP, and that's not counting if it has 4 copies, because then you're spending that much money on all 4 copies of the SP. You've already blown well past $70 for the cost of Dear Days. So my point being, I think people need to just step back and try to start encouraging people to play Dear Days. I think we need to accept what it is, get off the hopium of what people thought it was going to be, accept the reality, and start trying to find a way to support what we have. And in the process of supporting it, we need to also address the corporation with Bushiroad and Furyu and whoever else is behind the publishing and marketing of Dear Days, and be like, look, you could have gone about this a little bit differently. Maybe in the future, in the next console game that you come out with, maybe we can try and cushion that price tag a little bit, bring it down to 50, bring it down to 60, somewhere a little bit what we the community would think was a little bit more reasonable. But at the same time, again, we have spent more in the TCG, and that is my point. Okay, I'm addressing the fact that I don't entirely agree with the price tag, but I'm also saying it's not unreasonable. We have spent more, and we continue to spend more on cases, on boxes, on decks, and we don't play Vanguard for the resale value. You play Vanguard, you play a card game because you love it, because you enjoy it, it brings you joy, and it makes you feel a certain sort of way. You enjoy the memories, you enjoy the friends, and the atmosphere that card game brings you. That is what card games are about. It is not about buying the biggest blinged out deck and then reselling it because, oh, I can resell this at a later date, because the TCG itself is like a stock market. Right now, you might be playing the biggest, baddest deck and it might be expensive, but then 4 months down the road, when the next big thing in the meta comes out, all of a sudden that big blinged out deck that you got might not be worth the amount of money that you flung into it. It's just the way that it is, the nature of the beast. So again, I digress. I'm just trying to make some points and contrast apples to oranges and show that things aren't all doom and gloom, guys. So this is my rant. This is going to be the only time that I address this, because going forward, I will be supporting Vanguard Dear Days. I will be making content. I will be streaming it. I love it. I think it's a really fun game. I've only played the demo. I've played all 5 of the decks on it. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's the most fun I've had in Vanguard in years. And for that, I'm thankful. Is that worth $70 to me? You're damn right it is. I will support that. I will also be buying the $70 DLC pass because I love Vanguard. I want to support it. I want to play the game. I don't have a locals. I don't get to play the current meta. I didn't get to play the meta when it was old or whatever, you know, people want to bitch about. Because I want to make one more point while I'm on my soapbox. When Vanguard originally came out in set 1 for English, we were already 6 sets behind the Japanese format. Had Bushiroad not weaved in and out extra booster boxes along the way, we would still have been 6 to 7 sets behind the Japanese market. On top of that, no one minded playing Day 1 Vanguard in Zero. Nobody minded revisiting Limit Break, Break Ride, Legion, going back into Strides. None of us minded that because it was Vanguard. So please keep that in mind when you're spilling your poison on a game that we all love, when we've all, you know, gone down the time loop of playing Vanguard from day 1 all the way back up to its current rendition. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the fact that we finally got what we asked for, and encourage people to play the game. Encourage them and show them how good of a game Cardfight Vanguard is, and it will grow. It will grow and it will become something more. But if you destroy this game as it is, you are destroying your community. You are destroying the game that you love because you are just you're not doing what needs to be done as a player and as a fan of Vanguard. That's all I got to say, guys. If you want to, you can check me out on Twitch. You can find me streaming there throughout the week. You can also catch me out here on my YouTube channel, where I will be posting Let's Plays, also deck contents and other things, and along the way for Vanguard Dear Days. And if you would like, please support my other affiliate channels down below with like Final Phase, Juan Mango 64, Mr. Light, Ride My Avatar, and other people that I have a lot of fun streaming with and have enjoyed getting to know thanks to Cardfight Vanguard. And in the meantime, guys, please stay strong, stay healthy, and happy gaming.